concrete. So if I can do this on concrete, you can probably do it on carpet, grass, or something soft. Just to show you the different patterns and how everything builds up to this, it does take a while to figure this skill out in entirety, and it's built of a lot of other different types of skills. It's not just an easy thing like most people say it is, all right? The shoulder roll can be adapted to lots of different ways, and it's used for lots of different purposes, from everything from wrestling to jiu-jitsu to martial arts. Those are all things I just said before, dancing, and obviously in parkour. So let's get into it, okay? First of all, I'm going to show it real quick. We're going to go forward with the shoulder roll first, okay? And this is going to be the one more for dancing and soft acrobatics, and it is going to be for the parkour one. So that one looks like this. Okay, go a little further back for you. From here. Okay, much softer version, and I'll go away from you. And then also the reverse version of it is here. Okay, well, if I go toward you, like so, okay? So, again, this skill is quite complex. We're gonna go through the foundation of it step by step so that you can figure this out too, okay? The first thing you have to understand how to do is the rock and roll on your back. So that means that you need to be able to get into a position like so, with your legs up, okay, your head up, and you have to rock back and forth through your back. So your back is rounded, and you're rocking back and forth like that. Yes, the lower back is tender. You got to figure out how to work through that. So you might do this on soft ground first, so you can get the hang of how this actually works, right? Rocking forward, rocking back, rocking forward, rocking back, right? And there shouldn't be any bumps along that area, all right? The second one is a side-to-side roll, or a body half. And a body half is the same position to start, and you're back like this, head off the ground, only this time you're going to go from one side to the other. One side to the other, okay? If I show you this from the back, from here, it's going from one side to the other. And I'm using my leg to kick and kick and kick from one side to the other. Okay, that's a body half roll. The next one you have to know how to do is be able to get up from a sitting position and then getting up just like I got up right here. So you need to be able to, from a sitting position, okay, bringing one leg in, so you're bringing your heel to your butt, and then you're leaning forward. This whole part of your leg folds, and I have to be able to come up and forward and lean into my front leg here. So I have to really get forward here, lean forward into my front leg. You can even be outside a little bit, but mostly directly on top here. I have to be able to do this, and you need to be able to do it on both sides. Now, yes, you can use the ball of the foot here as well and push into it, but that's going to be dependent on the person if they can do that or not, based on the flexion of your foot. Okay, so for most people, I say point your foot, go over the top of the ankle, and be able to come forward in this position. So be able to rock from one side to the other. You can use your hands to help you as well, so you're staying nice and low to your shin here and your thigh, being able to come up from one side to the other, and also be able to do it without the use of your arms as well, okay? So that's the next thing you have to be able to do, rocking side to side, being able to get up from a kneeling position, like so, okay? The next one you have to be able to do is you have to be able to do that, but turning, okay? So if I'm here, I'm gonna do a hip roll by putting both my hands behind me, and I'm gonna turn over from one side to the other, folding my leg in behind me, one side to the other. So I'm folding, turning, bringing the leg in front, over the top, and then I'm able to come up to the side. And this is called a hip roll, going through the hips from one side to the other. If I go this way, here, up, here, and up. And I can do this without my arms too if I want. Add a little more complexity and stability in the center from one side to the other, doing that, right? And when I do that, I am rolling through my glutes. I'm not on any bony spots in my body. I'm trying to be soft, going side to side like that, okay? The next one you're gonna have to be able to do is called a candlestick. And a candlestick is when you're able to come back on your back like this, use your arms to help push your hips up over the top of you, straight above you. Okay, this is also, I've seen this used in yoga and gymnastics a lot. But you're pushing the hips up, like so. Push your hips up, like that, okay? Candlestick, up. All right, and I'm not on my neck, I'm on my shoulders. I'm not trying to compress my neck when I do that, okay? But you need to be able to do that in some fashion. If you can't get your legs straight up, you can also do it with your legs partially bent like this. That's perfectly okay too. But the full extension does give you some advantages of being able to push your hips up like that. But just being able to be here with your feet up and your hips over your head is going to be very useful to you, okay? So knowing how to do a candlestick roll, pushing your hips up. The next one, okay, is something called a collapsed position of the arms. This is very similar to being able to roll and fold up over the top of your leg like this, but you're doing it with the upper body. So what does that look like exactly? I'll show you with the hands, okay? If I'm on the ground here, I am collapsing the wrist to the shoulder, and the elbow gets folded in like that from one side to the other. So this is probably the hardest part of this whole thing because it requires the pushing strength that you have to have. So if I'm here to push a position, I'm going to collapse down and bring this hand to my shoulder, like that. From here, collapsing down, bringing the hand to the shoulder, and then putting my weight on my arm. This is actually easier to do going the opposite way at first. Pin your arm down, and then push up into it. If I go from side to side with this, it looks like this. Coming down, and pinning it down, using the other arm to help, and then pushing back up, pinning it down, pushing back up, all right? Now, there's more to it than that. That's the hardest way of doing it. We're gonna go through some other ways of doing it. Arms in a little bit wider position, like so, with the hips to the sky. And from there, I should be able to put my forearm down a lot easier, okay? And I'm adding my other hand here out to the side wide at first, and I should be able to lower myself down to my arm like that, from one side to the other. Okay, again, this takes a lot of forearm strength, forearm resilience and tricep strength and shoulder strength to be able to do. So keep that in mind, that it makes this part harder. But you don't have to be able to do this to do the whole entire shoulder roll, but it's a good advantage to have when you start doing it faster, okay? The collapsed position. Now we're gonna explore that from other positions too. The first one being the candlestick position, which turns now into something called a neck roll. Sounds horrible, I know, but it's not that bad, okay? The neck roll, if I come up to my candlestick position or partial with knees bent, as I need to be able to put my head to the side of my body and go over my shoulder. Okay, so that means I'm going to extend out the arm to the side of the shoulder I want to go over. I'm going to make sure my head goes away from that spot, and I'm going to bring my other arm around here. So this arm is here to protect me, okay? This arm is here to the side, and then from there, both my legs are going to go over this open space, and then my head goes to the side. My head's not even really taking any of the weight into here, it's the shoulder, right? This will make more sense if I go away from you. From here, hip up, hips up, arm to the side, other arm across, head goes to the side, and I come around back to a kneeling position. If I go from here, you'll see it the other way, up, arm to the side here, okay, and I come to the side like that. Or if you want to see it from this way, same exact thing, up here, to candlestick, bring the arm across to protect my neck, head goes away, arm is straight, both my legs come over to the side like that. Now yes, this requires some flexibility. Being able to pull both your feet over like that, you do need to have some flexibility in that position, but you probably can do it on a mat or down a wedge mat on something soft to practice it at first, right? So you can see how the arm's coming up and I'm going over the side. So that's considered a neck roll. Doing the full motion of the neck side to side and going from one side to the other is actually the full neck roll, and I'll demonstrate that real quick, and that looks like this. From here, okay, my legs are going over, my head goes to the side, and I should be able to pass to the side or the other side. And again, I'm doing this on concrete, right? But you can do it on something softer than concrete, okay? Being able to go from one side to the other like that. The weight's on my shoulders, it is not so much on my neck, okay? Your head will slide real easily back and forth on a mat, okay, versus it being on concrete where it's very grippy. All right, so that's your neck roll side to side, and then you also saw how I brought my legs over and got to my knees, okay? So that's the next thing you have to know how to do in that order. And then finally, learning how to kick the leg over is the next part of this, okay? And this is where it actually starts becoming more of a fluid motion and all starts coming together. So instead of just rocking both my legs back, okay, which you want to get fluid with that, you do want to be able to rock back the candlestick, bring your arms both to one side and head goes away so that you can bring both your legs over like that. And you should also be able to do that the other direction. So if you place the arm down straight, hand is here, okay, to protect you. So it's here, I'm on my shoulder, and I should be able to come over that way. What does that look like from backwards? Okay, here, both my legs go over. Okay, I'm catching myself here with this arm as I come over that way, okay? Complex, message me if you have any questions. So, one side or the other side. Yes, it looks like dabbing, but a useful version of it. So you have yourself going over one side or the other. Okay, both legs are going over the same side. Now, how do we make that more of a fluid motion, right? First, master what I just showed you, and now you're gonna start doing one leg then the other. So for example, if I am sitting on one side of my hip, just like the exit of a hip roll here, what does this put me into? I'm sitting on my right hip, my left leg is extended. This means for this position, I'm going to have to bring everything over my left side because my left leg is extended. I can't just throw my right leg over there, right? So this already tells me where to go. It says you're gonna go over your left side, so extend your left arm, put your right hand into position here, okay? And from there, you're gonna swing your legs over. So from here, swing one leg over and use the other leg to push it. So you're gonna push with this bottom leg, lift this one up, it goes over the shoulder, and then I do my candlestick, go over the side to here, all right? And that brings me back to this position on the floor, all right? I'm gonna go backwards with it. This time using the other leg, my right leg is extended. I'm gonna push with my left leg, my right arm, my left hand are here, my right leg comes up, I catch it on the floor, I catch my foot here to protect myself, and then I'm able to come down to my knees or down flat. I'm gonna come down to my knees like that as I come over, okay? So you have that going on. Now, how do we turn that into a more of a dynamic thing where you can move around a little quicker? Well, this is where the collapse comes into play. So when you go backwards, okay, this will show this demonstration from backwards, and then it'll all make sense from there. So if I'm going over, right leg, right arm, right? I get to here, and then I'm like, well, I can keep going over, or there's something else I can do, which is I can bring this arm in to the collapse position, and then from there, as I come down, I'm gonna, when I put my other leg down, I'm gonna keep my hips up, and I'm gonna push away with this arm right here. So I'm gonna push away up like that, okay? Show it again. On this side, normally I'd go here, but I'm going to put my arm like that. Other arm is here. Both my legs are down, and I'm going to push my hips upward by using my arm to help me do that, right? If I do that a little quicker, and I don't have my arm to the side, but I have it just here the whole time, rocking back, I can use the momentum then to help me go up a lot easier, right? From here, I can use that position, make it a lot easier for me to get up, right? And I can do that same exact thing going into it too. I just have to be a little softer on it, right? So if I'm here, if I'm on my knees or I'm knee lean, I can use the collapse position here, okay? Forearm, head goes to the side, okay? From here, I can kick my leg over the top. So if I'm going over my right shoulder, I'm gonna end up in my left hip, lifting up the left leg, coming over like that, or I'm gonna go to my left side, lift up my right leg, hands go to here, head goes out of the way, because normally I'd be right here. So I collapse that arm, the other arm comes across to protect my head. It's guarding me, right? This is guarding me to the side here. This is guarding me, right? Normally it was here, now it's here, okay? And then that allows me to get to this position and then push over like so, okay? Again, it's very complex, so the more you practice those other positions, the collapse position, the neck roll, the hip roll, the rock and roll, all the rolls, okay? The more you practice all those, it's gonna make this a whole lot easier, all right? We'll make sure this all gets up and looks really good later on, and I'll chop it up to make it more digestible later on, but this helps you out right now. Hopefully it does. Everybody keep on moving. Hope you have a great day, and I'll talk to you all soon. Here's a couple of fast ones for you so you can kind of see what it looks like in more dynamic positions or the other side and the other way. Thanks everybody. Talk to y'all soon.